So we managed to find ourselves another kind of nice day as the winter approaches. Not too windy, not rainy. Can't really complain about that. I'm only wearing 2 layers, so it's not that cold. And I'll just get warmer as I walk. Anyway, amateur historian here with you, and I'm just gonna go on a little bit of a trek, a little bit of an adventure, a little bit of a, I don't know how this is gonna go. It might end with me just being like, oh, that's kind of cool, or me like running with my fists out ready to fight somebody, or something in between all that. But when I did my random exploration video and I was talking about how I want to just hit up more places in Southeast Portland that I haven't really walked through, I meant that, even though some of those areas you probably don't want to be showing off your camera too much. And for them, I'm doing them entirely handheld because it's a lot more easy to be inconspicuous when you've just got your phone. You can kind of like just sneak it and hold it. Not that I'm trying to, like, you know, sneak on people obviously, but if you're in an area where someone's going to accost you, they're a lot less likely to think you're videoing when you don't have your phone on a big selfie stick in front of you walking. Even though that selfie stick has been giving me some real good arm muscle recently. But anyway, I already have to go a little west of here, kind of in the vicinity of where I work. And in the past, I've always talked about how, like, man, you don't really see alleyways that much in Portland. And the more I say that, the more I find more of them. So, you know, they're in certain select areas. I don't think it's so much that there aren't really alleyways in Portland, which was kind of what I was originally saying, that I feel like I need to correct myself on. But it's more that alleyways just aren't as highly regarded. You know, you talk about, you know, other big cities, and like alleyways are like a big aspect of that city's identity, their grittiness, and it just really isn't the case so much in Portland. So alleyways are just kind of there. But that said, I'm heading over and I'm going to explore because they looked sketchy as hell when I was passing them on the bus the other day. I'm gonna go out and explore the alleyways of the Foster Powell neighborhood in Southeast Portland. Come along with me. Steve the amateur historian. So the Foster Powell neighborhood, it's a little area, kind of roughly a triangle shape that stands between Powell Boulevard, Foster Road, and 82nd Avenue. Not a great area, not the worst, but I work right on the fringe of this area. I've worked there for years, so I know it pretty well, and you just, you know, you have a lot of strange people walking around. They're more along the busy streets, you know, Powell, 82nd, and Foster on the fringe. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting folks hanging around. There's definitely a slew of druggies in the area. So those are just little things you kind of just have to have in your head as you're meandering through these alleyways and not knowing what to expect. Okay. Beat the signal and beat the ambulance. Okay. Anyway, just went through Powell. This is Powell and 82nd. Woo. It's a great way down to the neighborhood. You can't get through because no one will stop. Anyway, so yeah, technically this is Powell, or Foster Powell. This is the stretch I want to walk on to find. What first got my attention is it's very interesting the way things are structured here, because this is such a big highway and there's all these islands up here. It's really hard to cross Powell if you're not like at a busy four-way stop. So a lot of these, not here so much, but a lot of these residential stretches, these little residential streets that come towards Powell, they all just kind of stop and turn like right before they get here, and they become like these little, they kind of converge as one, and then they come out at these little driveways. Yeah, here's case in point number one. Like, you've got Powell here, and then right off of it you have this little random like stretch of parking spaces, and they all come out of this little stop right here. So yeah, there's several of these that just kind of line this busy street. It's very strange. I don't think there's any other parts of Portland, I mean, I can't say for certain, but I don't think there's any other parts of Portland that are quite like this. Go around this corner, start seeing, yeah. So all of a sudden we're in like a residential area. Okay, I turned a little earlier than I wanted. So I need to get down to this street and just go down a few blocks, but I had to pause because I was like, look at this. I'm guessing it's a restroom, but it's just lined with homeless people. Well, I shouldn't say lined. There's like 2 little homeless camps, but one at this time of the year, it may be too cold, so the restrooms may be shut down. So this is called Essex Park. If I was a parent, I wouldn't bring your kids to the park here today. Essex Park, just avoid it today, and maybe while there's people potentially doing drugs. So yeah, if I go just a couple blocks down this street, I don't know what street I'm on, but a little ways down this way, these alleyways will just start popping up. Like, they're not, well, see, this is where I get tricked. So this feels like this might be the beginning of an alleyway, and you get fooled. And it begins. But I want to go a little bit further down because they go for a longer stretch a little further down this way. What really is captivating to me about these alleyways is how a lot of them look like they haven't even been traveled on in years. Like, most alleyways are, I mean, sometimes they're paved. They're usually gravel, but yeah, this is private property on here, so I'm not gonna go down this one. And this one's more gravelly. I think it's more, they don't want like people loitering or camping back there. But here's one that's gravel, at least at the start. Yeah. I heard someone behind me. But yeah, these are what a lot of these alleyways look like. Like, you can see the tire patterns, but look at all the tree growth. Or tree growth. The grass is what I meant. Like, look at this. It looks like I'm just wandering into the wilderness. I don't know what this is up here, but I don't like it. You got all these overgrown sticker bushes. VHS. Oh man, Fox and the Hound. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I think that's a person. So, as quick as I came through, I'm gonna go back the way I came, because that looks like a person down there crouching. So, yeah, here's your first taste of these Foster Powell alleys. It's a little ball field ahead, kind of another strange intersection where these roads kind of come together, but then this one kind of shifts over. Is this another one? Here we go. Murder Garage. Oh no. It's that good old-fashioned aged wood. But yeah, here's another one. Just kind of like this. What the heck is happening? Oh. I saw you. Yeah, there you go. Don't act like you weren't doing that already. These look like finely shaved, like chestnut pieces. Like if you're just shaving them off perfectly. I love how urbanly decayed a lot of stuff is back here. And just all this overgrowth. Again, you know, just, it's interesting. It kind of opens up here. I wonder if this is somebody's backyard. If it is, I'm not gonna be that guy. It could just be, yeah, this is somebody's backyard. I wonder what kind of history, I mean, obviously amateur historian, I'm thinking history now. Is this a driveway or an alley? Alleyway, but I see something suspicious down there. Whatever, we're gonna go for it. Beware of dog. Man, you better beware of the amateur historian. Yeah, I thought maybe that was a tent, but now I'm realizing the object's a lot closer than I thought. A squirrel. Yeah. I'm noticing, oh my god. Yeah, this is what I saw and thought maybe, no, that's what I thought was a tent. God, look at this. That's frightening. Oh my god, there's so many dead bodies. This little door. Oh my god. That's just straight up frightening. Okay, there's nobody actually there. Although, I have to keep myself up, ready to protect myself. What the hell? Why is there a little fan stuck into this pipe under a cinder block in this tree? Guessing the city of Portland Public Works put that there. Oh man. Look at all these bastards. Okay. Yeah, right at the end, the trail just kind of ends and becomes grass, and you're kind of just in the side yard of this house, which is what I was hoping to avoid. It's actually like, but it's kind of not my fault. This is so interesting back here. I mean, I know it's just alleyways, but it's just, like, especially if you live in the inner city and like you think of alleys as in a certain way, very industrial. There's big dumpsters back there, big buildings with brick walls, tagging everywhere. I mean, there's tagging all over the place here, but it's so different from what you'd think of when you think of like alleyways in other parts of the country. It's part of the reason I'm doing this video. Is so like if you've never been to Portland or you're not even from the same cultural zone, you can like look at this and be like, that's so interesting that it's like that there. And now suddenly there's, so these houses here, like, you can only get to them through this alleyway. So obviously this alley is a little bit more stomped down. Still, now I'm heading back to Powell. I think this might be, yeah, see, even these come out in these little driveways like this. It's just another one along Powell. But I'm going to keep going this way because I know there's more to be seen down here. Well, now, because I'm seeing, like, here's the parking, and there's a street that pops out. This looks like another street that pops out, but I don't think it is. I think this is another alley. Ooh. Yeah. This is frightening. Yeah. Oh my god. This is where you hurt yourself. And for any would-be lawbreakers, private property, security camera in use, do not go into these people's yards. This is a lot more traveled. is just the mush. But yeah, again, lots of no trespassing, you know, stay on this side of the fence, you know, if you even have a fence. Old brick. It's just so mushy, and it does, this one at least keeps going straight on through. And while I'm in the vicinity of these alleyways that are closer to Powell, I do want to get down to the ones that are closer to Foster and Holgate. I used to get really sketched out by the couple alleyways I did see when I would walk along Holgate to catch my bus, because it would be at night back in the day, and like I would just walk by these alleyways and they would just, you'd look down and it would just vanish into darkness, so you couldn't see what was down there. Oh, that's frightening. Dead body alert. Walked by a gate and this dog just came booking it. Good, gotta protect your home. Oh boy, just goes on. Oh man, tagging is endless, and this is a little bit more traveled. You can only see the distinctions, and it looks like this has been matted down. Thinner tires. This is kind of cool. Old school door. Enter at your own risk. Some more. Some just discarded concrete chunks. Keeps going. Keeps going and going and going. Oh man, check this house out. Cool, but it's beat to hell, man. And now, starting to notice, the alleyways are becoming a little bit more grappled. Oh man, scary. So I think I've seen more beware of dog signs just in these couple of alleyways I've been down than I have like in all the rest of Portland combined. Wow, I'm already at Holgate. So just imagine Holgate right up here. You cross it, you look back, it's pitch black, there's no light, and you're just looking down this way. And this all just fades to black. And you're just a guy outside after a long day at work, you're tired. You don't want to deal with the fear that's engulfing you. Oh, this is cool. Probably doesn't get seen that often, but it's cool. Well, you get to see it through my works. And if I'm correct, we haven't quite reached the end, so I'm going to turn west onto Holgate now. So now we're actually like on another busy street again. And this just shows you how short Foster Powell is. That was one stretch of a couple of blocks. What the hell? Of a couple of blocks between Powell and then Foster just comes in right up over here. So we're already, you know, northern edge of Powell up there, and we're already on the southern edge of the Foster Powell area. We've now official alleywayed it all the way to Foster. So this is where the alleyways end and where the Foster Powell neighborhood ends. This is, I need to find a convenience store that's a little bit more obscure than Plaid Pantry. So yeah, a lot of these really cool old buildings along here. Is this another alleyway? Yeah, it's a short one just here to Holgate, and that's where I think I came out earlier. But yeah, it's really interesting, this area of Foster. A lot of old buildings. Only like 3 or 4 of them show up on the Oregon Historical Database, which is strange, considering how many buildings in this on this little stretch are definitely old. I mean, I don't mean to be getting full-fledged amateur historian right now and just start like checking out any other random thing in the area and losing my focus. I'm also looking for a super sketchy convenience store because they always have the best selection of things. And oh yeah, I love this. Everybody loves this building. This building is 67th and Foster, and it rounds on the front end. It's a very I mean, if you're from the area and like buildings, this is a very cool, iconic place. And it looks like it's sitting vacant, as I think it has been for a while. Come on! I'm on Foster, almost to 82nd. How have I not seen a super sketch convenience store yet? We may have a winner. The sign looked a little too bougie to me, but the building don't, so I'm guessing I want to have just what I need. I'll let you know when I'm all through. Oh man, look at this door. Man, they're gonna have the greatest selection ever. Alright. Very, very satisfied. Didn't have my Rockstar Ginger Brew or my Mojito, but you know what? You can't win them all. But this Everyday Market, I'm giving... Oh, it's yellow on this side. I'm giving this place a 5 out of 5. They had everything you could want. You know, I know I just spent $15 on drinks. Alright. Very, very satisfied. Didn't have my Rockstar Ginger Brew or my Mojito, but you know what? You can't win them all. But this Everyday Market, I'm giving... Oh, it's yellow on this side. I'm giving this place a 5 out of 5. They had everything you could want. You know, I know I just spent $15 on drinks. See all that? I gotta put this in my bag. This is too much stuff to carry. Anyway, back to the alleyways. And that said, this is one of the alleyways I remember best, because I would stand at this bus stop right here, and so I'd walk past this all the time. And, you know, it's a little commercial, more commercial at the start. You got the dumpster, you've got this big floodplain, another beware of dog sign, no shocker. Another security camera, no trespassing signs everywhere, because they need to be. You know, at least as long as we're near a busy street. And then I notice right up here, get back towards the residential area, and it goes to gravel, and then to just grass again. And I'm like, there I am. Holy moly. So you get to see the difference. Nice alleyway. I mean, you know, somewhat closer you are to the bustling neighborhood. You know, a few water puddles and whatnot. Hello. It's okay. Go about your business. Nope. It's like, that's what I thought that was, but I was like, I don't know, it reverberates in these alleyways. And as much as I want to turn back, get a little bit more of the good life, I mean, this is what I really came here for. Oh, Jesus H. Frightening. Okay. Oh my God. There's not one garage here that isn't frightening. Is that other? Those are rock? Nope, that's like clay. That's like chunks of clay. I wonder what that's doing back here. Interesting. Alright, we're kind of coming to the end. I think it's only like a couple more blocks. That's not an alleyway. That is. Doesn't surprise me that there'd be rats in this alleyway. Another thing that I need to be prepared for. It's interesting in front of a garage door. Just a piling. Yeah. Milk. Is that milkshake mix or something? That sounds disgusting. Styrofoam. Broken coat hanger. I don't know what the hell that was. More milkshake. It's like milkshake in a yogurt cup. That sounds ratchet as hell. Fresh fencing. There's no end to the things you find traveling these alleyways. But yeah, watch out for homeless people. Watch out for drug addicts. Watch out for probably drug deals going on. And add on, look out for the rats. Oh, hello. Oh, it's okay, Mutt. Oh, man. Oh, man. Out for blood. Oh. And we return to the classier part of town. Oh, hello. Oh. God, they train the dogs to be killers around here. Makeshift backboard. That's so something me and my dad would make when I was a kid. So yeah, this kind of, it's a fun experience walking through these alleyways, seeing another side of Portland that a lot of people probably don't see or don't take the time to see. But again, it's obvious that there's, I mean, we're in the right neighborhood for it, but it's obvious that there's strange things that are afoot in these alleyways from time to time. Frightening. I'm gonna look it up, see if maybe there's any like actual stories about these alleyways in the Foster Powell neighborhood. But just, if you're gonna walk through here, be warned. The populace obviously takes their protection very seriously, which is good. So, you know, don't do anything dumb. Don't do anything suspicious. Don't be peering over fences into people's yards. They have big dogs. They have signs. They have security equipment. Be smart about walking through these alleyways if you ever decide to. Alright, so I did try to look up any random bit of information. Didn't really find anything. I looked up kind of like, you know, maybe there's some stories about anything that's happened in that area. Some of those alleyways look sketchy enough. Maybe something big had happened. I don't know. Just a general look. I looked up the Oregon Historical Database, see if there was anything historically marked about the area. Just a few homes. Really nothing to be found there. But I did notice that it looks like back in 2013 there was kind of a push. There was an effort to like revitalize this area, clean them up, keep them looking less blighted, hopefully keeping unwanted people from walking through there, loitering there, camping there, what have you. Students from Portland State were involved in it. It seemed like the people in the neighborhood were really excited. But here we are, like a little over 5 years later, and it doesn't really look like anything happened unless these alleyways looked considerably worse 5 years ago. But I mean, it looks more or less like the alleyways are just kind of being left to their own devices, and it looks like the people in the area are, you know, maybe they don't have the money, the time, I don't know the people in the area. But it seems like people aren't really all that invested in making these alleyways look a little bit more appealing in general, you know, keeping people out that might look at it and think this is a good place to hide out, this is a good place to camp for the night, this is a good place to do drugs, all that stuff. And they're more just kind of just accepting that it's there and just putting up signs that say, we have security cameras, no trespassing, we have dogs, I saw plenty of those today, and just using that so that if people are going to pass through, it's like, just stay off my property at least. So that seems to be the state of affairs. Maybe there's something else currently or something else not too far down the road that will come into play and make people want to change the way some of those alleyways look. I think they're really cool looking the way they are, but you have to consider the fact that if an area looks blighted, sometimes the people that you don't want hanging out just outside your backyard are going to pick those spots to hang out. So I don't know. We'll see what the future holds for that area. Well, anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed that little adventure. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, not a whole lot happened, but I mean, it's interesting. You go into areas, you don't know what to expect, you see interesting things, you learn a little bit more about the city that you live in. Like, for instance, I walked by this park numerous times, getting to stand at the bus stop right over there. Had no idea these tables had, like, these little chessboards made out of, like, rock and stone. Never knew that. Never actually sat down in this park before. I don't even remember what it's called, but there's this really cool building here. I forget. I think it's... I don't know. I can't remember. And yeah, so pretty much this is where Holgate Boulevard meets Foster, and the Foster Powell neighborhood just goes on a little more that way and then ends once the two roads converge. And yeah, so that's it. Me exploring the uncharted alleyways of the Foster Powell neighborhood. Steve the Amateur Historian. I'll see you next time.